everybody, welcome back. My name's Iris Smith and I'm the owner of a small business called The Flower Patch, and at The Flower Patch I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Right, thank you very much guys for all your wonderful messages last night. I enjoyed reading them all and answering all your messages. Yesterday I had a lady come in, and she lives in, as she saw my video, a block of flats. She's locally a local lady should I say, and because she hasn't got a garden or anything like that, she came to ask if I could do her a candlestick arrangement in purples for spring, purples and whites. We had a little chat and she chose the flowers and some of the foliage. I've added a little extra foliage in as well, and to see so she could put it in her window, because again she lives in the block of flats, or I don't know, some people may call them a high rise, but I don't know, but she said flats. And she wants again a spring arrangement doing, so she can place it in a window with her not having a garden. So that's what we're going to do for the lady. So this is an actual order, my first order of the year, so yippee. So we're going to do it. So this is a candlestick. I've got a piece of dried foam that I've placed some wreath wrap around it and I've glued it to the candlestick. So that is what we're going to use. She did ask for a bow. All she said was if it could be purple bow. That was basically it. She didn't choose one, I chose one. So this morning I made one up before we started, and it is a very spring looking pastel bow with lilac, and I think there must be wildflowers or daisies on them as well. I've not done a lot of loops because it's not a big candlestick, so I've just done some of these, and then maybe when it sits in I want it to sort of like embed itself into the flowers, and then it will come up like that and gather together, so then it looks like there's a lot of loops. I have placed a cable tie around the back and then placed a pick on the back and attached the floral wire what's through the cable tie around the pick and slightly put a bit of glue on. So that's what the bow is. The lady chose, as I spoke to her about movement as well. Oh, before I carry on, I've got a new stand, and as you may see, I am facing a slightly different angle because it's on the desk or the worktop. So it's facing this way, so you can see when I do arrangements a bit, you know, on my worktop, a bit closer. So anyway, the lady did, said, you know, like the dusted twined fern. She liked how it curled, so she said she'd like some of that in. So I've cut some down of fresh bunches today. I think I've overcut, but never mind. I can save some what I don't use for other projects. Now the lady does like astilbe, so I told her I've got some in purples as well as whites and pinks and any other colour you can think of. So I showed her several and she prefers this one. So we're going to incorporate some of those as well. I've got 5 stems out of it, so we'll use that. She did say that she would like a few roses, whether they're white or purple, you know, she's not particularly bothered, but if I do put purple in, she wanted some light coloured ones, so she chose these, and I told her I work in odd numbers, so we've got them in 3 here. And I did get out some white, pure white, not off-white or ivory, they are white as a white can get, like the red roses. I've got out some white buds as well, So I'm going to use those around just to bring it alive. Now she did like these when she saw them, the anemones, and she liked the rich colour of excuse me, of the anemones. So again, I've got out 3 excuse me, because I'm going to work, obviously I work in odd numbers, so I've got out 3 for it as well. Now I suggested a bit of movement with floral, having big heads and combine them with small heads. So I have got out 2 bunches, I don't know how many I'm going to use, of my purple and lilac baby gerberas for the movement, to give it a bit of wispy. And she does actually quite like those. She thinks they're very spring-like and pretty. Now, the lady did suggest irises. I didn't think about the irises, to be quite honest. The lady asked me if I've got any, and I said yes. So we've got, and these are very realistic look, and they are a foam texture, very soft. When I got these, I put some on my back garden in a pot and made it look really pretty. They're still out there. So we've got those irises again, 3. Now I did say to the lady, how about having a little bit of fern in, because fern does look pretty in arrangements. She didn't think of that, but she agreed, she likes it, and she chose she chose a spiky one, and I told her it was a good choice, because with it being a different tone in colour and against the rich purples, it will really bounce off of it. So she's got a good eye. Now, she did suggest some Queen Anne's lace. I have got 5 pieces here and cut them down. So I've got those that we're going to use as well. Now, she didn't ask for these. These are what I've just added in. Some of because I want something hanging over the side. So I've got the flowering lotus leaves. I've cut these down off a fresh stem as well. And we're going to use just a few. I don't know how many I've actually cut. 1, 2, 3, 7. But I've cut them at all different sizes because I don't want them all the same length. Now again, she didn't ask for these, but I've got some oddments of my parfavolia left from last year. So I'm going to add in these for filler foliage. So they're going to look really pretty. And with them having the movement. And the other day yesterday I didn't use these, and they've got green buttercups on with grasses. Again, I may place some of these in just to add that little extra different texture and contrast against all the others. Now, she did like the wispy, the grass, should I say, or twigs. Let me get it right. The twigs with a little bit of the leaf on. She did think they look really pretty, so I've cut some down of those off the bunch. I've tried to prepare, and we're going to place some of those in as well. Again, some may be over the side, some may be on the top as well. Now, she didn't ask for this, and again, I still haven't looked at the name of this foliage. I've cut some down and left a couple of stems that are slightly long. Well, I've cut some down off of these stems, so but then left the top parts. So we've got this again with it being a nice, lovely, like a sage green, a different tone again of greenery, which will also bounce off of all the dark colours. So that is what we have got for the lady. So I've had to get my son in to see if I'm in shot. So I only want to go down about here if anything hangs over. I don't want to go right to the bottom. I want you to be able to see some of the stand. And the stand is like a green shabby chic look. And I like that sort of thing. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, I'm going to put in some of our dusted twine fern around the bottom so it hangs over the side. So if you ever do have a candlestick, you can, you know, it doesn't matter what size, if it's taller than this one or shorter, it doesn't matter. Just take into consideration that you need to see some of the actual candlestick itself. So I'm going to place in some of these. Again, I've cut these down, some longer stems and some shorter to sit on the top. So what we're going to do, is there a front? That must be like that. So we're going to place some of these in just to hang over and give it some movement. Again, I don't want it going past around here. And you can bend your stem to lean it down a little bit more if you think it's sticking too far out. That's a shorter stem. And I'm pushing them in to where it's the bottom of the last leaf is. Let's get a longer stem. I've just cut that one a little. I haven't put a 45-degree angle on it. I'm going to place in 5. As you can see, if I can get it in, guys, I'm pushing it right to the bottom. Now this stem here is wired, this one, so I'm just bending that over, and you can move the leaves around as well. And we'll get one more. Cut that one, that's a bit long. And take into consideration the depth of your, or the height of your foam. So once you place things in here, you don't really want it to be longer than what your foam is. So we've got those. I'll hold back with these because some of these will be going above. I did cut a bit too many off. That's all right. Oh my good gracious, they do catch. So I'll place those there. Now I do want some of our flowering lotus leaves. Again, I've cut different sizes of the stem. I've got some long ones. And I want to bring these down as well to give it that lovely effect. And you can, if you find them too long, you can get them and you can wrap around your finger to give it a swirl or a curl. If you see odd little bits like these sticking out, that's part of the decoration to the stem. and I quite like to see that. It's like another twig or stem growing, just starting to grow. So I'm going to be placing these down here with them having a little bit of the flower, and you can, with them being wired, you can manipulate them and it's fabulous. So let's just cut a bit of that off. I'll just go slightly higher than the dusted twined fern. Then I'm going to bend it down. We've got that one where it can sit up. You've got the plain leaf here, and then you've got the flower where you can bend, so that's sitting upright as well, facing you or the customer. Let's have a look if I've got another one like that. Yeah. So I'm going to do one on the opposite side as well, just slightly higher, and then bend it down. So we've got it same on the other side. It may look like it's sticking out quite a lot at the moment, but once you get everything in, you know, if you still don't like it, then you can manipulate it and just have it slightly with a bend, like so. So it doesn't look like it's sticking out too much. I'm going to cut the stems short. Bring some with the flowers are slightly higher up, so instead of it being so far down here, bring it up so it's bottom, top, and then you've got the bottom, and I'm going to put one here for the top. I've just noticed I've cut all these straight across instead of at an angle. Blue strings. So we've got them like that. I'm going to save, oh, that's not got anything on. Let me just chop that piece off. I'm going to save, I think I'm going to bring some in again at the top, up here. So I've got 3 pieces here that I can incorporate at the top. So I'll hold back with those as well. I just got to have a cup of coffee. My son's made it me. Before it goes cold. Right. Let's have a look. I'm going to bring just a couple of these over the side as well. I have got some weeping willow, but the lady didn't really like it, so otherwise I would have placed that in. I suggested ivy as well, but she didn't want ivy. Because some of these droop down, that's just the natural way that they go. They will be fantastic to sit around the side as well, leaning over the candlestick. So where I've not put anything in between the dusted twine fern, I'm going to put these. So I've got one there, one here. It's really cold today, guys. And what's the weather like where you are? It is frosty, and it is 3 degrees now. I don't know what that is. I know 10 degrees is 50 degrees Fahrenheit or centigrade, so I don't know what 3 is, but it's really cold. One of my ladies who was sent me a message saying that in I think she said northeast Wigan, that's the place in the UK, they've got floods and some of the shops have flooded. Just stay safe. I'm going to put one above there, a little bit higher. That's not going in very well. So let's take the glue off. And if I can't get a stem in, I've got this. You can get them off Amazon at Hole Puncher. Very cheap. And they will help you. I leave it in so I know where I was going to place this next stem. There we go. Like little buttercups. And then I'll place one here. Go opposite this one. Just say around here, just to fill up. So that's what it looks like on the top. Again, I've left 3 so I can incorporate those on the top as well. So we'll hold back with those 3 as well. Oh gosh, my drink. How terrible. I never drink the bottom of the cup. I don't know why. Oh, I've got 4. So let's get in some ferns. I'm going to have some ferns. 1, got 7, and I'm going to have some ferns. I'm going to have 4 coming around the side and then 3 again on top. So I'll place 3 aside. These were on a big bush or stem, but I've with lots of these on, but I've taken some off individually and placed on a pick. And I'm just going to bend those down as well. Oops, it's dropped off, guys. Right, let's glue it back on. There we have it. So then that sticks down as well. Let's just cut these. So again, I'm going to place 4 in. Just slightly bend the stem. And then 1 here. So then that's 4. So I've basically treated this foam as it's cut out in a circle. I've treated it as like a square, so I know where to place these leaves. So it's like on all 4 sides, even though it's a cylinder shape. So we've now got those in. Now I've cut some down off this bunch. I haven't cut too many. So the bunch was bigger than this. It had another stem here coming off of it. I've been snipping on that to make these, and this one had 2 stems on it where I've snipped these off to make shorter pieces. Now let's have a look. I don't want to make it so it's too compact. We want that movement. And you turn the leaves around if they're facing the wrong way. Sometimes I like them to be facing the wrong way because that gives a natural look. Now I just want to make sure these aren't too big. We could incorporate those underneath, I guess. Right, how many have I cut of the bigger ones? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's really long. 4. So I may just snip that one off there. I was thinking of just having them either here or bringing them under the bottom so they hang down as well. I'm going to bring the longer pieces under the bottom. So with them being quite a solid leaf, I don't really want them to cover up the others that are that are there. So we'll incorporate these under the bottom. And bring our other leaves on top. So we've got it like that. Again, I've got 1, 2, so that's 4, and I haven't cut them all the same size, as you can see. I want them to be different. I don't want it all uniformed. We like something a little slightly bit different. Again, just spread them apart. Let's have that leaf turning backwards so it gives it a little bit of a different vibe, so to speak. Now this one's quite long as well, so I'm going to snip that end one off. Again, I don't want them too long. Here. So then it makes it look quite full as well underneath. I'm doing the bottom so we can fill it in. So 1, 2, 3. These are hard to twist. Oh, we'll give it a go, guys. I love doing arrangements like this. I enjoy doing swags and wreaths, but when it's something different, that, you know, I love things like this because not everybody wants swags and things like that on the doors. So I like to do something like this. Oh, somebody's on the door, guys. One moment. Hello? Let's put those there. Sorry about that, guys. Back to normal. Posty. And again, now I've cut these down shorter. I can use these up here as well. I'm just wanting to do, and I've got these spare also. I'm just wanting to create my boundary or the form of the candlestick at the bottom. So then once I've done that, I know that's where I want to go. We want a dome. The lady wanted a round dome shape. She didn't want a front facing or anything. She just wanted a round dome shape, and she said that's what she likes. So we make our customers happy. So I'm going to use this as filler as well, the parfavolia. So we've got all flowers. Right, if we've got flowers, then we're going back to our foliage. Let's stick some of these in and start with these. So where I've placed them on the bottom, I'm going to go in between the ones. So if you see one here and then here, so I'm going to place it in between those two. I don't want it above it, I want it in between. So I'm going to just slightly lean it over. I push it in a bit more, that's it. So it's hanging slightly over the side. Let's get the flower and bring that up. Now do the same here. Let's just lean it over. Now going right on the edge. And bring in the lotus flower through the leaf. And as you can see, it's started to fill it up here as well, where I placed them. Where's that one? There, and then here. And just slightly bend. And if you have trouble with your hands or anything, just get your in bending it, just get some flat nose pliers, or I've got the bent ones, or they're called needle nose pliers. Just use those to help you bend it over. Right, I've got 3 of the fern. So we're going to cut these. Again, we don't want it exceptionally long. And I'm going to place these in here in the triangular position. So we're going to do one here, and I'm going to allow that to slightly stick up. I will fill it in between with the flowers. Oops, I can't get it off. And then because I placed one here, I'm going to place one opposite it and then one here. Just cut it a little smaller, the stem. Again, take into consideration how far it goes down your foam. I'm wiping off any glue because I don't want it to set, in case I'd like to place something right next to it and I can't get it in because of the glue is set hard. So I tend to wipe it. You don't have to. If you don't do that, that's fine, guys. And then I'm going to place one here. I'm placing them at an angle as well. I'm not doing them immediately upright, you know, vertical. So I've placed them like that on top. So once we get things in here, they will be pushed down slightly like that, or you can bend them down because they are slightly wired, not too wired like to the top. So you can just manipulate them slightly. Like that. So they're slightly leaning over. Again, we will fill in around here. So let's use these. We've got, I'm going to use, in fact, 3 of, I've 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe because that one's only got 1 on and that one's got 1 on and the others have got 2 on, I'll place those together and we're going to go in between the fern. And that's how we're going to position these. So again, because they flop over, I'm going to place that one there, and again it's in between where the others are on the bottom. So let's place these 2 together. It's a pity they haven't got something that I could stick that on, but never mind, we can work with it. Place that one there, and then the one next to it. I may go slightly further down with that one so it's underneath like the others. And then place the other one there. Just remove that glue. So we've got those around there now, at the top, in between each of our fern. Now we've got, again, our dusted twined fern. I love it when a customer comes up with an idea of what, you know, a vision of their own. I think it's lovely. Now I'm going to look to see if I can just find ones with just one fern on it instead of two at the bottom. Now I'm going to go under here and just have that sticking out like that. Under our fern, another, gosh, so I've got two yet. There we go. Now we'll stick this one under. So they are sticking out as well. Now I'm going to place, this one's got two, one in the center, but I'm going to take the bottom off because I don't want it sticking up too far. So I'm taking this last little piece here, and the little prong here that you see sticking out, the leaf was on, I cut that off to give me a straight stem. So I'm going to place one in the center and I'm going to push it right to the bottom leaf. There we go. So we've got that as well. Sorry if you can't see it, guys. I'm not going to place any more of these in. I will save these for another project. You'll see it start coming to life when we start placing in our floral. Now I've got these last few little pieces of our flowering lotus. I'm going to cut these down as well. I don't want them that long. That one's okay. And again, I've got 3 of these left. So I'm going to go in between again. So they spread out. So I'll place one here, and again you can manipulate it however you like to sit. I may keep, you know, manipulating them once I've got other things in, just so I can see how they look and give them that little bit. Swivel it round. That's lost a leaf, so let's cut those off. And then our last one. So 1, 2. Push it in. So we've got those. It's started to look really full. I asked the lady if she wanted it big or small, and she said she doesn't mind. She has got quite a deep windowsill for it to go in, so I took that into consideration. Right, now we've got our twiggy bits. we're going to get those in. Again, I'm getting all the majority, all my cats here, guys. Getting the majority of the foliage in. Let me move my stuff here. So we've got different lengths. I may end up cutting some down, but we want some for different contrasts, as you can see, sticking out. Give it that lovely little bit of look where it's pretty. Now I had one of these leaves at the bottom because you've got some empty, I call them prongs. Again, the little, if I move that, if you can see, here, here and here. This one was at the bottom. Sometimes you'll find on your stems that there's nothing on them, but that gives you the option then, if you've got a leaf at the bottom like I just have, to move them further up your stem. So it's good in a way. Sometimes people get, you know, they don't like to see the prongs, but in a way I'm quite glad that they're there so I can move the leaves around instead of cutting the stem halfway down and leaving one leaf there. So I find it's quite helpful. So we're going to place, and we're going to allow these just a little bend, but to stick out. We want that natural effect. You see now there's one there on its own, nothing on it. So this one right at the bottom, if I can, pull it off and reposition it onto that one instead. So then you can cut that prong off and it will give you a longer stem as well. So there's no wastage. Again, just bend them, some of them slightly. Now here is an extremely long one, so I may just disregard that. So again, I've got a spare prong. As you can see, there's a leaf here and a spare prong there. So we'll take the one off the bottom and we'll put it there instead. Just done. I'm going to just bend that one because it is quite long. And then I've got the odd smaller one, and I'm going to bring these down here. So let's see. Let's take that one off. Reposition it up at the top and just check for others as well. So where I've put these three, I'm going to go in between them so you can see it here. There's two here, so I'm going to bring another one in between them at the bottom, and then that forms your triangular position or your shape, and then that will balance it out. So let's just get one. Let's see. The leaf is in the way. There we go. Then bend it over. So then that one is in between both of those. Again, I've got different lengths. I like to have different lengths so they're not all the same. going to use one of these. My cat's probably come in because it's colder outside. So I've got these left, so I can either bring some right at the bottom. I mean, that one I don't want to use that. So I'm going to split this one. Oh, let's take a few of these off and place them on this. If there's any more. No, so I'm going to cut that one there. No. So I'm going to put some underneath. Just bend it over slightly where I've placed it right at the bottom. And I'll do that with the last few. I'm just going from the bottom up. So I can use them all. Just cut it at an angle. Two left. I'll bring these in the centre. I've got two left. Just a little smaller ones. They can be used as depth. I'll place them opposite each other. Just give them a little bit of a movement. So that's what I've done at the top. So that now is all our twiggy bits. So I think the bow. So you do see on the candlestick I saw a seam there. So that could be at the back. So I'm going to want to, if I just place it in, bring the bow there. I don't want it on top because we'll have our flowers there. So let's just get this bow in. I'll cut the stem a little bit shorter. And I'll just lift it up the bow like that. I can, you know, fluff it back up once it's in. Take the glue off my fingers. I don't want it on the bow. There we go. So we'll fluff. So we've got our bow in there. Doesn't it look pretty? Right, the flowers, guys. do like these anemones. They're very rich in colour. I want to see, I may place the irises at the top, so I'm going to place the anemones around the side. So I'm going to place one here, and then one at the back, again in that triangular position. So let's just place one in. It's going to be right after the bow. So it's going to be like that. So now this is where it all starts to come alive with the pretty flowers. And I'm going to place one at the back, just there, and then one behind the bow again on the opposite side of the first one. So as you can see there, the triangular position. So you've got, if I do it that way, yeah. The flat side of the triangle, and there's the point. So now that is balanced. Like the irises. Now these are rubber stems. I've cut one rubber off just to see how tall it would be if I placed it in before I started. So I cut the rubber stem off and left the wire in. I wanted to see how high it would be, and I was thinking I may have to take the leaves off, because when I placed it in, it was quite still high. It was up there, look, it was quite high. So I think I'm going to have to take the leaves off of these. So I'll pull off the leaves because they are foam. There's nothing we could do with them. And what I do with things that are foam, not foam, sorry, rubber, if I just move the candlestick, guys, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to cut all these at the same length to start with. Just pull that top leaf off. Measure them to how far I'm cutting them. Do the same with this. Pull the foam leaves off. If you've got, because with them being foam, I can't stick them back on. But if you've got other leaves, silk leaves, you can pull them off and reuse them, put them a pick on. There's nothing I can do with those. Right, so what I do, I know I want to cut it where my thumb and finger is. Because if I dip this in my glue pan, not all rubber does it, but some do. They do melt if you put hot glue on. So I don't take the chance. So you can feel the wire inside the stem. So I just make a little snip of a hole. I don't cut the wire. So where I've made that snip here, I go all the way around, snipping it without touching the wire. If you feel you're touching the wire, just let go. And just cut again. And once once I've gone round, I pull the bottom off where I've cut. Now that's a wire stem. I can dip in my glue and place it in my arrangement without it being, you know, melting. So I'm going to measure these again where I want it snipping. I'm doing them all the same size. If you have them different sizes, then you don't need to measure. And again, I'm just going around with my snips, trying not to cut the wire inside, just the rubber. Then once I do it, I twist and pull. And the last one. And there we have it. So now we've got our stems to go in our foam. Aren't they beautiful? So I'm going to place these where you've seen I've placed the anemones. I'm going to place these in between each anemone, and there will be one behind the bow. So let's just put a 45-degree angle on the bottom of the stems so it's easier to go through the foam. So I'll place one here first. And they're slightly higher up. You can just see that one. And I'll go in between the anemones here. And then in between this anemone and this anemone at the back. And I'm placing it in at an angle. I'm not going vertical with it, because I want it to lean slightly. If you want to place it in vertical you can, but then just, you know, bend it over. So we've got that. Doesn't that look pretty? So that's what we have. I think for some reason this one looks slightly higher. I may have misplaced it. So I'm going to cut a little bit more of the rubber off. Just go around again. Sorry about the noise, guys. I've got my heater on, but with it being really cold. So let's just reposition this one. That's better. So there we have our irises. Now let's see about the roses. Yeah, we're going to place in the roses for the lady, because they do look pretty. I like different tones of purple. It's like the anemones are deep, rich purple. The irises are like a dark purple, but not as rich as the anemones. And then we have a lilac. And these have got their own little bit of foliage on. So that will, you know, blend in and make it look lovely as well. It's got some fortunia on, I think some cypress leaves, and a bit of like something with a little bit of a flower on the end in white. So now where you see the two anemones, this rose will go further down at the bottom. I'll just place it in between the two anemones. So then you're bringing colour down to the bottom, and it will sit lovely. So we're going to place those at the bottom. Again, I don't want them sticking too far out. So it's basically below the iris, but a bit further down. I don't want them hanging at the bottom. So then I'll go to the next set of anemones. We will be having one under the bow. So let's get the one under the bow, because that's below the iris. So let's place the one there. Again, I don't want it sticking out too far. But I want to be able to see it. So let's just manipulate our bow so it's you can see the rose. So I've done that underneath our bow. And then the other two anemones on the opposite side, we'll place one in the bottom there, below the iris, but further down to the bottom. With it having its own foliage, it's covering up some of the gaps at the bottom. Looks like it captured my zip. Just get that. Right, so let's have a look at some of our, in fact, let's look at the roses. Let's get the white. Now you'll notice with these that these will pop by placing these in. Oh, that's stuck with it. Just be gentle instead of pulling. There we go. I'm going to cut 5 to start with. And what I'm going to do, I'm just looking, guys, so I need to bring them at the top as well. Right, let's get the ones at the top first. And what I'm going to do, I'm placing these in between the irises at the top, which is above the anemones. So it's going to be like so. And the white, I always think lighter colours than what you're using, especially white or ivory or cream, always seem to bring your arrangements alive and make it look absolutely beautiful. So on this side. Well, so you can see the triangular position at the top in the white roses as well. So if you've noticed, I'm always, if I'm using odd numbers and it's only 3, you'll notice the triangular positions. Now I'm going at the bottom with these and I'm positioning them in the same place as these, but right at the bottom, underneath the deep purple anemone, to bring that alive and let that pop in between 2 white colours. because we've got the purple roses down there. So I'm gonna do these as well. And I'm gonna slightly place these in at an angle, going upwards. So I'm going up like that. So then instead of having to place them in and bend them, by placing them at an angle and sliding them up towards the top, they will naturally just droop down and face downwards. So we'll do it here. As well. And then we'll go under this one here. We're bringing a bit of light colour in with the foliage. Let's just have a look. So I'll just place those aside. We may use the rest of them. I'm going to use our baby gerberas. Now these are push-ups, which is fabulous. I love push-ups. So just push them all. Basically means for you new beginners, where you can push the leaves right to the top, or have them, some of them in the middle, some at the bottom, whichever you desire. So we'll just push them all up. I like them at the top because you get more out of the foliage as well. So I'm going to just cut 5 to start with. I want some up here. I may use, I've brought 2 bunches out because I've got a feeling I'm going to use more because of the wispiness. So I'm going to start and place some in between the 2 white roses at the bottom to bring colour in between there. And again, I'm placing these at an angle. You can choose which angle you'd like to place them. You don't have to have them immediately like that. You can just have a small angle. So one there. One under there. So just lift up if you can't see. And spread your flowers as well if you wish. Right, we've got those at the bottom. So now I'm going to go in. This is level 1, level 2, and let's say level 3, level 2, and top level, which is level 1. So now I'm going on level 2 with them. That one hasn't got any leaves on, but never mind, we'll still use it. Neither has that one, but we'll use them. So now I'm going to go straighten that bow in between. Let's just have a look. I'm going to place a few more. So I'm going to go either side of if we take into consideration this, I'm going to go one next to the anemone here and one next to the anemone there, and I'm going to do that around. And then we're bringing a lot of colour around the centre point. To try and give that nice little bit of colour all the way around. This side of the bow as well, and I want that side of the bow. So we've got the baby gerberas all around the midsection. I don't want too much at the bottom because again, this is all hanging. You want, when somebody looks at a candlestick arrangement, they immediately look, as we're calling level 2, around the midsection, and then their eyes may glance above or below, whichever way, but they tend to look, majority of people anyway, look straight at the midsection. So I've got 3 left which will go on the top. Oops, daisy. So we'll push those up, and these are going on level 1. So we'll use those. Put an angle on the stem at the bottom. So we're going around the centre. So where you see the white roses, we're going above the white rose. So you've basically got white, purple. So you've got individual flowers. Instead of placing purple on purple, I'm going where the white is. So then they can bounce off of that. I'm placing these slightly more upright. And the last one, I think I've cut that a bit too long. So we've got them now all above the white. So there's your first ones above that white rose, your second one's above that white rose, and your third one's above that white rose. So then you've got purple, white, and that's only just to balance all the colours out. So we have our Queen Anne's lace and our astilbe left. So I want to place in the Queen Anne's lace above the 3 above the irises, only got 5 out, or do I place one in the centre? I may place one in the centre and use the other 4 around. I've got some more. So let's just find the centre point. Bit of Queen Anne's lace at the top. So because we've got, oops, a daisy. Now, as you can see, we've got purple, purple, nothing. I'm going to place, I think, the Queen Anne's lace in between the iris and the lilac rose. So let's have a look. I can't do it on that one because the bow is there. So the iris and lilac. To break that up, and then I think with the ones here, I could bring those up at the top actually. So I'm going to place those in between. I've lost it now. Here. I can't at the front because we've got the bow there, unless I stick one in the centre of the bow. I could do that, so then it flows. So we've got it like that. Again, purple, white, purple. If you just think of the alternative colours, you know, if you see 2 purples together, place in a lighter colour or the opposite colour that you're using to break it up. That's how I do it, and I'm just going by how I was taught. Unless you're doing a cluster of a certain colour, you know, everybody has their own designs. I may put one in the centre, guys, of the bow, right in there, because then it's purple, white, purple. So let's do that. Why not? I'm going to cut the stem quite short because I'm sticking this to the ribbon. So let's just pop it. Believe it or not, guys, this ribbon, it's stretchy. It's got wire in, but it's stretchy material like elastane. It's really weird because once you hold it, it stretches. But it does do its job. I want that piece of ribbon behind there. So we've got it in there, look. Doesn't that look nice? I love placing things inside bows in the centre. I've got one left. Do I double up at the top? I may double it up at the top to make it look like one big one. Let's do that. Instead of it just being on its own. I'm going to just stand up a moment, guys, and I'm going to weave some of the Queen Anne's lace petals onto the other one, so it just looks like a big cluster. There. Now we've got, well, we have got the portfolio where we can use, where you're going to use as filler foliage. But now we've got our beautiful astilbe. Look at the colours of those. Are they pretty? Let's have a look. I feel I'd like to have some down at the bottom. I don't want to overload it with the Queen Anne's lace. I have got more of this. Not Queen Anne's lace, sorry. Astilbe. Let's have a look. Or do I just place the odd bits around? Tell you what, let me get the portfolio in first. I don't know how many I've got of these. These are just oddments. Because I can see the odd gaps anyway. And just move it around as you're going. If you spot any gaps, just pop some in. That's the best thing about filler foliage. And I'm not having them where they're sticking too far out. And I'm heading around the middle or the mid-range center point. Need one here. And if you've got any scraps, as we say, you know, bits that you feel of foliage that you can't do nothing with, get them out, guys, and they are brilliant for just using as filler foliage and covering up any little gaps that you may want to just hide. I wonder if I could place these up at the top. I'm going to place these on to make a group of 3 on a pick. I cut the pick in half and use the other piece for the other one. So I don't want them extremely long. Oops, I can't get it. Right, again, I've still got the roses here if I need any roses. Trying to think, I don't want the roses too close together. I like them to have a bit of space. so. The lady did like these. I think I need some at the bottom. And I don't want them too far. I'm going to push them in just either side of the bow, because there's nothing really here on this side. So let's lift up our leaves. So we've got it like that. Don't you think they're very effective? I love them. I'm going to do it on this side. So we've got them either side of that bow. Let's have a look. Let me put one there. If you haven't got any astilbe, but you've got lavender, if you want to make one in purple, use lavender as well. It's just as pretty. I'm just turning it around. There's definitely needs something around here. Just bring some of those green in there. One under there. Now if you want to, which I probably will, because I don't just like to see them at the bottom, I like to incorporate them around the whole arrangement, so it makes it look more balanced than placing everything, you know, a certain or just one particular element at the bottom. As you know, we've placed them all the other things around in, you know, top and bottom. So let me just grab some more. Let me get this bunch that I haven't even used. No, I went through a stage. That's not all, this is just one set. Let's cut that. So I want to bring in these now between the top and middle range or centre point. Just so they're spreading all around. If you can see it there, and then you've got it here. Now I'm using this astilbe as our filler, believe it or not. So it doesn't really matter, or you know, the way that you need to place it in a uniformed way. I'm placing it where I think that it's needed. And it's like if you use something like Veronica or something like that as well, and you just wanted to scatter it around to give it that really pretty look. That's basically what I'm doing. And so then I've got one here, I've got another one here. Let's take that off, and I'll bring these at the top, right in the centre. Again, I don't want them sticking too far, but I'm going to place them with the Queen Anne's lace. I'm going to just slightly spread them at the top. Bend that stem slightly a bit more up. So I'm not going to place any more of that in. I tell you what I do have, guys. I've got 3 pieces of twigs here that I used yesterday when I was making something. Where are they? I've got 3 of those here, but they're very quite chunky stems. I could incorporate those. I've just spotted them around the top. They are really, really thick. And you can, again, they're wired, so you can swivel these around your fingers and make swirls like so. Just make swirly stems. Oh, I can't do that one. Again, there's nothing on that one, but that's, as I see, part of the character of the stem, and I quite like that. I wonder if, let's have a look, would it be nice down here? Oh, it might be nice at the bottom. I'm not so fond of the thickness of the stem. I'm wondering if I could pull it off. That's that one. Right, I'm going to snip it. I've got a single little piece here doing nothing. So I'm going to, let me just place that there. See, I'm going to do a bit of a fixing. And see if I can just grab, I've got one here as well. Lace, no, I'd use a smaller one. I'm going to glue that. I'm going to get this, stick it on there, and then that piece, I could wrap one piece around along the longest one just a couple of times just to hold it in place 2 or 3 times, so like that. Then the smaller one, wrap that around where it's glued on. So then I've got a thinner stem to play with instead of that. It's really chunky. So I've managed it with that one, and I could bring those underneath just for a bit of twiggy effect. I can do the same with this. One's come off, so I could use that for the wire. some glue on my pick. Just place it on top. I'll use this, what's come off. In fact, I'm going to use it like that. Go one way with one piece and the opposite way with the other one. Just pull it tight to start with. And use that. So we've done two. Right, I've got another piece here. Oh my good gracious me. They're all attached. It's like they've tied a knot in it. So let's get this piece of wire. What's on that bark? Waste not, want not, because these are the last three pieces of what I did. There wasn't any more of, unless I used a fresh stem, but I may as well incorporate these in. The lady's not asked for them. So bend that over in half, go one way with one half of the stem or the wire. The glue seeped out, so let's just pull that. Don't want it to look messy. So we've now got three. So we're gonna, guys, because they're nice and wispy and twiggy, which I love twiggy bits, we're gonna place them around the bottom of our arrangement. So let's see, where's the front? We'll place one underneath the bow. Again, we'll do the triangular position. And this is just to add a little bit of interest and different texture. So let's lift up so we can see. Oh, I can't grab it. You can manipulate them to curl. You don't really notice them, if I'm being quite honest. So let's just untangle that. So that's one there. Again, we're going to go in the triangular position. Can't get that one in. Let's put a bit more, cut this and place some more glue on. So 1, 2. That's that. Twiggy bit of that. And our last one. So we'll start so around here. Just want to place. can't get that one in, I don't think. I'm pushing. Move that. And then there's 3. And I don't want them to droop too far. Where's the bow? So guys, got one left. And I just pop that in the centre. Says we're just placing it back on the in the bucket by itself. Let's just have a look if it fits okay in here. I don't want to spoil the look. No, it doesn't. So, where can we place it? Here. So that is our project, or should I say project, our order for the lady for her window in her block of flats for springtime. Now, doesn't that look pretty? I love purples, pinks. Mind you, I like any colour. But I do love pastel colours, I must admit. Apart from my favourite colour, green, which I use every day in arrangements, unless somebody doesn't want me to. The pastels are my favourites. I've got friends and that who prefer, and my husband does, autumnal colours. I just love pastel. I find them very calming, relaxing, you know, very pretty. I'm not saying that autumnal ones aren't pretty, but I, you know, for myself, my own personal preference. But then again, I do like to see in the autumn, if on a cold day, or even winter, reds, you know, give me that warmth, on oranges. What I think give you a feeling of warmth. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I hope it's given you an idea. You know, if you're living in a block of flats, or again, you don't have to live in a block of flats, but if you want to give something as a gift to someone who does, you know, maybe not in this colour. I mean, this colour was requested by a customer, but maybe in, you know, other colours, yellows, you know, pinks, all different shades of pinks you can get. Oh, thanks, hon. Shall I swap you? Do you like the candlestick?
Very nice.
The spring, it's got irises in it. So, but yes, again, in any colours, guys, even if it's oranges or reds, it doesn't matter. You know, they will all look beautiful. Even if it's monochromatic, if it's black and white, or you know, it doesn't have to just be black and white. It could be red and white. You know, it could be pink and white. It doesn't matter. You know, anything will look beautiful, and I'm sure you could all give it a go. Again, you don't have to have this size candlestick. You could have a larger one or a smaller one, or you could have just the little diddy widdy ones, or tiny like that, and make a small arrangement, especially if you're new you know, when you've just started out in artificial flowers, and you decide that you want to do, you know, give it a go instead of going all in and doing something big. And you know, when you're unsure of what you're actually doing, just start off with little candlesticks. I used to have them. I haven't got any around anymore, but I've done little candlesticks like that, similar shape to these, and I've just done a tiny arrangement on top. If you start off like that, you know, and build yourself up, or if you want to go slightly bigger than the little diddy ones, you know, go something like this and start off like that and build yourself up to bigger ones. I've done candlesticks where they're really about 3 foot high, probably 3.5 foot high. I've done them like that, but they are beautiful things to have around the home, especially, you know, if you want something like this in your bedroom, you know, in the window in your bedroom, just to give that lovely relaxing feel. Again, I think it's a relaxing colour and it's pretty. So please subscribe, share and like, again, to the world, to everybody who you know. And I hope, you know, that you're all creating like mad now. We've come into 2025 and you've all got wonderful ideas ticking away in your head that you'd like to do. If you've got any requests, please send me a request and I will always give it a go. There's not once, you know, I'm not one of these people who just bypass messages and think, oh, I don't want to do that. I will do it. Anything, I like anything to do with flowers. So if it means doing something in a cup, I will do something in a cup. I just love it. So I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Take care where you are. If it's cold where you are, and again, if it's flooding where you are and it's really raining, please try to wrap up warm and stay safe. If you know, if you can't get to go and get your groceries or anything, maybe a family member could do it for you, especially if you're not, you know, you have health issues, and you know, and just don't be frightened to ask, guys. I'd rather you ask, you know, than not you know, just sit there and not have any groceries or whatever it may be. So have a wonderful day, and again, please subscribe, share and like, give it a go. You know, I'd love you to all give it a go. I know you've probably done one before. Maybe try the next size up. If you've done it before and you've done something this size, maybe go bigger and see what you can do. Bring the flowers down the stuff. You know, you don't have to have it in a dome shape like my customer's request, you know, and ordered. You could just have it front facing and bring it down like a slope down to the bottom with a nice bow somewhere in the middle. Do an L-shaped one, you know, an asymmetrical one. Do something like that as well. They all look glorious. So I won't be here tomorrow because it's Saturday, and I won't be here Sunday, but I'm back to normal on Monday, guys. Yippee! So back to creating my you know, flowers for all you wonderful guys, and I just looking forward to Monday now. I'll be sitting around tomorrow like this. I'll probably come in and have a little play because I'm still waiting for my stock to arrive to be able to make, you know, lollipops and things like that. So I'm hoping they come today as well, or maybe over the weekend, so I can start making them, because I do want to sell them. You know, I'm not going to keep them for myself. I want to sell them to all people, you know, who are making wreaths or whatever you may be doing, and give you a chance, you know, to have something that I've created if you can't afford a floral arrangement. So take care again, guys. Have a great weekend and be good. Keep creating, and I'll see you on Monday. So bye for now. Bye bye. Right, let's have a look, guys. I'm going to take this camera off this new stand. You may hear a click because I'm not really sure how this one works. Oh my good gracious me. Oops, watch my fingers. Right, there's your beautiful, beautiful anemones, where it's on deep purple on the outer side and a lighter purple on the inside. Your little baby gerberas, again in 2 different colours. That looks pink, but it's honest, guys, it's not pink, it's a lilac. And there's your lovely lilac roses. I've got fluff on that. Lilac roses, and with the, if you see down inside the petals, you'll see it's darker on the inside. Your lovely Queen Anne's lace, and your beautiful irises. Oh my goodness. And then you've got your lovely astilbe here, again with 2 different tones, a lilac and a deep purple. You've got your lovely white rosebuds as well. You've got your spiky fern, and there's the little plants that look like the grass that's got, looks like buttercups, so I call it buttercups. There's your parfavolia as well. My cat won't move, so I've got to stretch over him. And there's your wonderful leaf, solid leaf, what I still can't remember the name. And you've got your dusted twined fern, where it's curly. You've got your lotus leaf with the flower on some of them as well, with a bit of yellow in. Purple and yellow look lovely together. What else have I got, guys? I don't know if I've missed anything. If I have, my apologies. And obviously our beautiful bow. So if you can see closer now, it's stretchy. It's like elastic, but it has got wire in the edges. So it's a very light pale lilac with like daisies or something like that on. But yes, it looks really pretty. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I will be sending a picture to my customer just to see what she thinks. If she wants any alterations, I don't mind altering it. I've just missed something. Our twiggy bits on the bark, and also these twiggy bits as well. How could I forget the twiggy bits? So again, I do treat these with, I know it's going indoors, but I do always treat it with an antibacterial spray, because I've handled it. I don't want anything, you know, from my workbench going on it, so I do treat it with an antibacterial spray. And then I will treat it with a UV protector spray as well once that's dry, because if it's sitting in a window and the sun's shining, sometimes the sun shining through your window can fade your artificial flowers. They don't just have to be outside for them to fade, so I do still treat them with the UV protector. So, and then spray a bit of essence oil on it, where it's got a beautiful smell. I will get the one out for lavender and spray a bit of that on it. So take care, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Marley says bye, even though he's licking himself. And we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.